Welcome back to the Gate 14 podcast. And you know what? Screw it. We're not going to chit chat, keep you guys waiting, blue balls, you guys. We're going to cut it to the Chris Bassitt interview. It was so electric. It was so worth it that we're just going to get right into it. We appreciate all the time Chris gave us. It was unbelievable. We hope you guys enjoy it. Now let's cut it to the
We
Chris.
still have some Blue Jays talk at the end, though.
Yeah, we got. If you're listening to this, we obviously, like Avery's saying, we're going to do a second half preview coming up after the Chris Bassitt interview. So stay in your seats, enjoy the Chris Bassitt interview, and now let's kick it to the interview heard around the world. Welcome back to Gate 14. We are joined with a very special guest, a man that we have been pumping the tires of since he signed a deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. Our king, the hound on the mound, right-handed pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays, Chris Bassitt. What is up, Chris? How we doing, brother?
How are you?
I'm doing great. Let's kick this off right here because everyone knows we kind of hinted at this a couple of weeks ago. So you followed us first on Twitter, humble brag, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, whenever it was. And I'll be honest with you, I had to pull over. I don't recommend doing this to the kids at home. I went absolutely bananas. So I called Avery. I rarely get excited over stuff like this. I called Avery and I said, look at our Twitter right now. Chris Bassitt just followed us. What led to this follow? How did this happen? Because I'm so fascinated by it. Eric Swanson told us his story. How did you end up following us?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think you guys kind of do things the right way in the aspect of you're obviously big fans of the team, but I think you kind of promote our team and you're fans that I think are more positive than negative. So it's kind of fun to follow. I don't really like to follow a lot of people on Twitter just because it's I feel like everything on Twitter is negative, but I feel like you guys are pretty positive. So I was like, yeah, I'll follow y'all.
See, that fires me up. And a listener out there, someone put that on my tombstone of Chris Bassitt saying that just fires me up. But I get in a lot of arguments with negative Blue Jays fan Twitter. I'm just willing to get in the mud for it. But I do respect that. I mean, so I got to ask this because Swanee said how he found us was the jokes we make about Brandon Belt. Has that circulated in the clubhouse? Because Swanee said it's a little something going on in a group chat he's in where they sent a tweet that we tweeted out about Brandon Belt. Is that like a little circulation going on in there?
Yeah, there's definitely stuff that you guys post to other people that make on the internet that we kind of throw in the group chat. And yeah, it's I don't think Brandon Belt has to take off because he's already kind of crazy as it is when it comes to his stuff. But overall, I think yeah, you guys definitely add fuel to the fire.
So you talk about the positive Jays fans. You had a run-in with a fan of one of the other teams you played for recently in Frank the Tank. You finally responded to him after you were gone. What's that like as someone who's not a positive fan?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been around the game long enough. I've been around sports long enough that I get that there's negativity. Yeah, when I was playing with the Mets, obviously Frank's, extreme negative, but I find it somehow hilarious. Just because they could be on a 9-game winning streak and somehow this guy's still complaining about something. So, yeah, overall, it's awesome. I'm just a huge sports fan in general, just because, the passion and the love for the game and the love for the players and the love for just competitiveness. It's kind of what fuels me, and I genuinely like it.
That fires me up. And I got to ask this, speaking about in the clubhouse and stuff like that. So we have a victory song for the Toronto Blue Jays. We post a video of it after every single W. Has Pump It Up made it into the clubhouse? Maybe on the aux? Maybe you could request that because Pump It Up just gets the people going. It fires me up.
We've definitely played it before, but we're we'll win 4 or 5 games in a row, and then let's say we'll lose a game, and it's all right, time to change it up. So, Chappie's pretty much involved with all of that. So yeah, it's pretty much kind of how many wins can we rattle off for one song, and then it's kind of change it up a little bit.
Are you a fan of his music choices? Because I've heard some blowback from some of the players on his aux choices in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I am. I've been around him for so long that it's just I'm just used to it. So yeah, you're going to listen to a lot of EDM. You're going to listen to a lot of California rap, and you're going to listen to a lot of just songs that you probably have never really heard of. But they're pretty catchy. I like them. He knows I like them, so it really fuels his fire.
Seems like
See,
it's just a good vibes playlist. So that's really all you can ask for.
I feel like us and Chappie would get along well. There's a video of him actually that we like kind of circulated across the internet of him and Bradley Zimmer just DJing on a counter, and he is just the Matt Chapman outfits go absolutely nuts. I'm a big Matt Chapman outfits guy. The button up. Have you tested the waters of the button up? I feel like you'd look good with a button up tarp, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm so casual. It's not even funny. So I get made fun of for how I dress because it's supposed to be like dress serious, and I'm in a sweatpants and sweatshirt. So no, I'm definitely not like Chappie on that one. I'll tell you that.
So the camo shirt they made for you is something you'd wear casually?
I'll be wearing that a lot. I'll tell you that.
See, I'm not usually a giveaway guy, but I might have to tap into the camo jersey giveaway. I mean, it's kind of cool having a giveaway. I will say that. What was your first, like, how long have you known about this? Because they just announced this, I think, like earlier in the year, but has this been something that's like a long, like once you sign, they mention it to you and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing a camo hat right now, and like, I'm always just wearing something camo for the most part. Just I love the outdoors. Not even that. I don't even have to be hunting and stuff like that, but I love the outdoors in general. And then the aspect of that, it's more so, I think I rolled into spring training probably 2 weeks in a row with this like camo hat. And then like, we did like the media day. They're like, hey, we're giving a giveaway and here's like your shirt. So I knew about it in spring training, but yeah, I'm definitely going to be rocking that for a while.
So how do you assess your season on the mound so far? Just like an honest kind of breakdown of how you feel you've done.
I mean, to me, I think consistency is key, and I think I've been pretty shit when it comes to consistency. So I can't really say I've done that well. I'll probably say like a letter grade. I'll give myself like a C- at best. Like I've done really, really well against teams. I mean, I've done well against Houston and Atlanta and all those teams. But then also I haven't done well against certain teams, and it's not really. I don't really think it's the team fundamental or breakdown of it. I just think some things have been a little messed up, and not in the aspect of like team or coaches. It's just me kind of thing. Yeah, and it's just the ups and downs of the year, and then just hopefully get on another roll and have a good 2-3 months and be good to go. So I don't really look at like long term or the numbers so far of my season, because I feel like if you're chasing numbers throughout the year, I think you can really panic. But I know the consistency right now of what I've done has not been great.
I'll
And
say
this is just
that brave start as a Blue Jays fan was the best you've seen.
That was when we did that was when we do fucked up Friday. So we were mangled on that stream, having a great time. I mean, it was all time, Chris. I gotta tip my cap for you. That was a legacy start, as we call it. So that was and you're talking about the consistency and stuff like this. I gotta ask you, this is how my dumb brain works. So I talked about this in the podcast a couple of weeks ago. So you obviously took away calling pitches, but I just gotta ask you this, because obviously you said it because it adds too much going on in your head and stuff like that. But aren't you technically still calling pitches when you like shake stuff off? Like, explain that to the listeners of why it makes more sense for Kirky to call the pitches over you. Like, what's the difference with it?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're 100% right. I still am calling my own game. But the way we're doing it in the very beginning, it was more so, it was just me calling my game, and no one else's opinion was involved. So the way we're kind of doing it now is we have basically two set of eyes on the situation rather than just me. So Kirky could be seeing something that I just don't see. But if he's not calling the game, or not at least having an opinion, or Jano the same way, like if they don't have the opportunity to kind of call their own game or what they're seeing, then it's kind of pointless for them to even see what they're seeing, kind of thing. So I've never wanted to take that out of their hands. It was just with the pitch clock, it just had to happen. I think we're in a really good place now with it. It's just a matter of just being more comfortable.
So talking about those rule changes, do you think the pitch clock and stuff has positively impacted the game?
It all depends on kind of what you're thinking. I mean, if you're thinking about viewership, if you're thinking about fan experience, yes, no doubt about it. It's positively impacted the game. If you're talking about pitching,
I think it's definitely made it more difficult. Just in the aspect that we've always had the capabilities of slowing the game down for as long as I ever played it, by just kind of just, all right, give me 20 seconds, let me walk around the mound, collect my thoughts, relax. And like, all right, now we get back on the mound and make pitches again. Well, you don't have that luxury anymore. So I think everyone's done a really good job across the league of kind of adjusting to that. But at the same time, there is an adjustment period. And I think we've done with the coaches and everyone else, I think we've done a really good job with our team.
You think it goes into like just game planning stuff, so you know every hitter, like you get in a tough situation and you rely on the game plan pregame? Or I mean, you have so many pitches, thinking through it all the time, like in 20 seconds with the runner on base. That seems like the wrong way to go about it, and kind of sucks as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many situations that kind of come up that will definitely put the advantage in the hitter or runner's favor. Like I said, just because the game can speed up on you a little bit, where you're not thinking about the base runner, then all of a sudden the base runner steals on you. Worry about the clock. Like for me, the one thing I think that I've like assessing the first half, I think the one thing that I've kind of done a bad job of, which I think I'll make an adjustment, is I've kind of tried to manipulate the clock a little bit too much. And I really think it's just a matter of me just getting on the mound and just pitching. Stop worrying about the clock in general. There'll be some situations where like I'll see 15 or 20 seconds left because like they called time and they want to sit in the box, and I'll let it roll down to like 0. But overall, I think I've been kind of like I said, worried too much about the clock and how I can manipulate it against the batter. And it's just, like I said, it's just another distraction from the game of how you can mess up a pitch or whatever it may be, because you're not focused solely on the pitch itself. You're focused on so many other things now.
Yeah, that makes sense. And speaking about distractions, I got to ask you this question. I'd be mad at myself if I didn't. So the Citi Field start, right? Your wife is giving birth, which congratulations on that, by the way. And the start gets delayed, right? So it's delayed in the first place, and then you have to make a big league start. What was running through your mind on the mound? And like, how hard was that for you to just not constantly be thinking like, my wife is giving birth right now to a child of mine, and I'm currently at Citi Field pitching in a Major League Baseball game? Like, how hard was that game for you?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't crazy hard. I don't know your guys' background. Do you guys have kids at all?
No. The comment section is gonna make a joke out of that, but no, we don't have kids.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I had my trainer. I had like 4 or 5 people with the Blue Jays, basically being able to be in contact with my wife throughout the game of like, all right, this is kind of the stage of like her pregnancy, where she's at right now, monitoring contractions. So we knew she wasn't like, was she in labor? Yeah, she was in labor, but like it wasn't really that close. So I never like was worried about like not making it in time. I saw a lot of stuff like where like they're like, why is he starting the game? Like, do they not care about like him seeing like the birth of his child? Like that was never in play. Like talking with like the front office and talking with Schneids and talking with Pete, like they were more than happy for me to miss that start to go see like the birth of my son. But we just were able to like work it out. We had a private jet sitting there waiting for it whenever I needed to go. Luckily for me, it was 2 guys from Toronto. So everything just kind of just worked out. So it was just a matter of just, like I said, just monitoring her every 20-30 minutes of just like, all right, is everything good? And everything was fine. So it was just, all right, I was able just to focus on baseball and not focus on that, as crazy as that sounds.
This is completely off topic, but are you a private jet guy? Like, are you rocking with private jets? Is that like where you're at? Because I would die to go on one. Maybe one day, once we become better friends, the Gate 14 boys can hop on a PJ with you. Are you a PJ guy?
First time I ever did it. And honestly, it might be the last time I ever did it. I'm not saying they're
didn't like it.
Cool. No, they're cool, but like at the same time, the amount of money is like, I'm like, come on, like you, like like I just flew back from where we were just at. I just flew back to like for the All-Star game from Detroit, and I was in coach. Like I don't need first class. I don't like just I'll have my iPad with a movie on, and I'll be sitting. I don't care who I sit next to. I like I'll be wearing $15 shoes and a $10 shirt. I'll shop at Target with absolutely zero hesitancy. I'll tell you that right now.
We'll get you gate 14 gear. You can roll around in gate 14 gear. That's what we'll
I'll
get
rock
going.
it all day. You're not gonna see a Rolex on me. You're not gonna see chains and all that stuff. I'm just not that type of guy. I
just a blue collared guy, man. That's why we love you. That's why we're Bassitt guys. That's why we're here.
So I had one of the kids that I coached was begging for mechanics talk. He loved it. So he wanted to know like how many professional coaches try to change what you do with your glove hand when you pitch, because it's not orthodox. It's something a little different. The firm front side that they probably teach you, be cookie cutter. Is that just something obviously you've done kind of your whole life, but how many people tried to change that?
I would say I've been blessed in the aspect of came with the White Sox and never really tried to change me. Then I got traded to Oakland and they never really tried to change me. And then I came over to the Mets, never tried to change me. Now I'm here. They're not really trying to change me. I think there'll be a lot of pushback when it comes to like people within sports if they want to go like the whole like the academies and all that are trying to teach all that stuff. But in my opinion, if you're doing something that's like natural to you, I think it's a lot easier to be really good if you're doing something natural rather than trying to do something unnatural and then trying to be really good. So I've had four or five organizations. Okay, four organizations. Pretty much just say, all right, these are your mechanics. Now this is how we're going to basically try to make these as strong as possible. And that's what I've done. So I've done like my workouts are completely different than most people's, where I don't do a ton of like strength training. I do a ton of like stability work. And it's just like stability throughout my motion. And that's kind of what I've always done.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. I mean, and going back to like when you were throwing and all that type of stuff, your younger days, I got to ask this question because we're just common men, me and Avery. I mean, I hit 180 in Nebraska in junior college. I was asked, Avery's one of the worst pitchers in the history of college baseball in America, 7,000 ERA. When did you realize you were better than everyone else at the game of baseball? Like, when did you realize you had the potential to be a pro baseball player? Like, what age was that for you?
That's such a weird question because I really don't know the answer to it. I really don't. Like in high school, I never really threw that hard. I probably threw, I probably threw like 84 to 86 in high school. And then honestly I went to college as a walk-on, and probably threw like 88, 91. And then like my sophomore year rolled around and like my velo went up just a little bit, but I was always out of the bullpen. Like I was never a starter. So in college, I was like an 8th or 9th inning guy. So I think it was not till like my junior year where I was like, all right, like there really isn't, like with the year I got drafted, I was like, there really isn't a hitter that I think is better than me. So I think that's kind of when it set in. I went to Summer League and the Coastal Plains League, did really well there. That was supposed to have like really, really good talent. So I don't know. Like I said, it's hard for me to answer that because I really don't know. I never thought I was like head over heels a better than everyone at any single level. It was just like I knew I was good. That was it.
We're going to start the narrative that like LeBron and you came out of Akron. And by the way, speaking about Akron, I'm 0 for 3 lifetime against Akron. On our college trip when I was 18U, we actually used to face Akron in the winter. I don't think I made contact with a baseball. 0 for 3. And we were playing, the stadium's right beside the football field, right? The football field's right there and the baseball field's right behind it. I just got absolutely just put on a leash and just dog walked at that stadium. It is a nice day. I think the program folded the year after, maybe. Is that true?
Yeah, well, it's a nice stadium now. They did a lot of renovations to it. Back then, it was not a nice stadium at all. I'll tell you that. Like we legit would have, like literally, we'd have ducks land in the outfield. There's standing water. So yeah, the program back when we played, yeah, it was the field was not good.
So you get to move to a new country this year. What's been the most interesting part about moving to Canada for you? Because Kevin Gosman said the drivers are horrible in Toronto, which I definitely agree with. It's a big city.
I might be one of those guys.
Yep, definitely. But
Yeah,
the most
I
interesting
mean,
thing for you.
traffic's not that nuts, just because I mean, Kevin I mean, he came from the Bay Area, so he should know dang bad traffic. And then I also came from New York, so I really know bad traffic and bad drivers. So I definitely say traffic is not one of them, but I'll say the thing that really gets me for the most part is just trying to order something and all the extra fees and all the extra crap. Like, I got to pay a delivery person. Like, here's a $15 shipping fee somehow there. My Amazon packages won't come like the next day. They'll come like 5 days from now. So just getting stuff is a little tough, but because I'm a big Amazon guy. I'll tell you that.
It's great.
So yeah, that me and my Amazon game have been hurt big time.
That's heartbreaking. But like I said, we'll get you some Gate 14 stuff. It'll arrive the next day. I'm lying. It took us like 3 weeks to get Kikuchi's stuff, so I can't be guaranteeing that stuff for you. But speaking about Canada, though, like I love hearing about this. Why Canada? Like, how did our guy Ross Atkins sell you on the Toronto Blue Jays? Like, what was the selling points for you here?
Well, I mean, like, once I've hit free agency, it was like, okay, like, everyone will talk about like money or whatever it may be. Like, money is good and great, but I wanted to go to a team that I genuinely thought throughout the 3 years or 4 years or whatever it may have been the contract that I was trying to sign. Throughout the life of the contract, I have a genuine chance to win a World Series. In my true heart, I think there's about 10 teams that could have answered that, and I could have said yes. So like instantly, I eliminated 20 teams. And then Toronto came calling, and obviously made some phone calls to Chappie, made some phone calls to Simeon, made some phone calls to all these guys, and just asked about Toronto and asked about obviously the guys on the team, and everyone said amazing things. So I was like, all right, like, this is going to make the choice pretty easy, just because how good a group of guys we have on our team, players wise. I mean, it's been an incredible year so far. I think, clubhouse wise, I don't think we can get much better. Obviously, baseball wise, I think we can get better. But clubhouse wise, it's been incredible. So I know we're in a great spot. I know, like I said, I know we can play a lot better baseball, and I know we're going to play a lot better baseball. But having the clubhouse dynamic the way that we have it, I know we could go through some bad times and not panic one bit.
And you were talking about that. I mean, you guys are 50-41, and you haven't even come close to your ceiling. I mean, the offense it's been stagnant, a little bit decent, and the pitching's been incredible. And speaking about the pitchers, I got to ask you about this guy, because we call his family the royal family of Canada. Kevin Gausman. What's Kevin Gausman like, man? I would just love to tap into that guy's brain. I would wonder if he knows who we are, because I mean, we tweeted at him a million times, but he's just electric. He might be just the best ever, dude. I love that dude.
Yeah, like, it's so funny because it's two different dynamics of guys. It's just off the mound, he's just an absolute just happy-go-lucky dude that just likes to have fun with the guys, and then obviously likes to go and be a dad. And it's awesome to see that. But then once he gets on the mound, it's like, you do not want to mess with Kevin Gausman. Like, he is an absolute killer. And the fact that, like, people say he does it with 2 pitches, he has 4 pitches. And honestly, I think he could have like 6 or 7, because we're catch partners, and he busts out like pitches. Like, he's like, hey, here's a curveball, or here's a sinker. Like, he's got other pitches. He just don't even need them. That's the craziest part. Like, he's easily one of the best pitchers in the world. And it's just awesome to see, just because he's got a switch that not many people can flip like he does.
He fires. You got to mention that to him in the interview. Like, you haven't done Gate 14 yet? Just a little humble brag to him about that. He's electric. Like I said, we would die for the guy. We were sitting beside So we were there at the Giants game. Kikuchi got us tickets. We like brought shirts down for him, and we were sitting beside his wife. I was like, "Do you think we should mention that? Like, we always talk about them on Twitter." I was like, "Whatever, we won't mention that." But it's just they're a great. He seems like a great guy, class act, locker room guy. So it's good to hear that reassured from his teammates for sure.
Yeah, he's A plus. You can root for him. You can buy his jersey and know that you're rooting for a very great guy. Like there's not a doubt in my mind.
So we saw the video of you playing golf with Witt preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Is your golf game stacking up with Witt? Like, is he the one in the clubhouse that everyone's trying to beat there?
Yeah, I'm not as good as Witt. They're like, no, I'm not as good as Witt at all. I don't even know. I'll be honest with you. I went into this season, like I golf in the off season probably twice a week, I'll say, in the off season. And I was pretty damn confident coming into spring training about my golf game. And for whatever reason, I showed up and it was like I was golfing left-handed when I'm right-handed. I don't even know what happened. Still don't even know what happened. Can't hit a driver without snap hooking it right now. It's the most critical thing. But yeah, Witt's for like you like see like Witt, and you don't think like big power guy because obviously he doesn't have like massive power numbers, even though he's hitting home runs all of a sudden. I mean, Witt easily averages over 300 yards on a driver. Like he bombs the ball off the tee, and then his short game is very, very good. Like he's the total package. He can play.
Why do you think why do you think so many baseball guys are just golf guys as well? Because I feel like the hitters, how does it not mess up your baseball swing at some point?
That's
right?
a myth, Avery. That's a myth.
So? Well, your swing sucks, Johnny. I've seen.
Well, Chris, I got a little tip for you. I had a bad round on my driver 3 weeks ago, and I just sold it on Kijiji the next day. That's might be the recipe for you. Just keep switching drivers every round.
Hey, I might. Although I just gave my brother my old driver, and he just snapped it in half. So yeah, we have an absolute zoo on the links right now for me. I'll tell you that. It's a mess.
You probably just absolutely dog walk me. That's fine. We could go scramble me and Witt versus you and Avery, because Avery's actually nasty at golf. He's gonna humble brag it. He's good at golf. He plays the mental game with me. He starts saying nice shot when I hit a bad shot. I'm just a mental midget. I can't do it. But going back into the team dynamic and stuff like that, we got to obviously ask about Brandon Belt. We talked about him earlier. We love Brandon Belt. We couldn't be bigger Brandon Belt guys. And his comedy is something that like we kind of share. It's like the Office type of comedy. What is he like in the locker room? I mean, Witt told a story of him a couple of weeks ago, walking around saying he's pretty much playing for free when he's making $9 million a year. Like, what's Brandon Belt like?
Yeah, what y'all see in the interviews is like the PG version of what we get. Like, Bell is one of the funniest, best teammates I've ever been around. I mean, honestly, you saying the Office is like perfect, because like the stuff that he says most of the time is like no one else can say it because it's like crossing a certain line. like I don't even want to get him in trouble for saying some stuff, but I mean, for instance, like he'll like. We'll call a guy up and like he'll be like, "Hey, like, don't get too comfortable. You're gonna be sent down here pretty soon, all right?" Like, and it's like, dude, you can't say this stuff. Like, but it's Bell, so Bell can say it and everyone laughs. No one bats an eye about what he says. So yeah, overall, man, Bell is just an A+ dude.
He just seems like, I mean, I think we said this in the podcast a week ago. Like, him and Gossman are probably the white whales of this pod. Like, those are the two guys where obviously Brandon will probably never do a podcast just based off of like how old fashioned he is. But sometimes we'll go back to his old tweets and retweet them. And early in his Twitter career, all he would do would just tweet at Taco Bell. Like, that's how I picture Brandon Bell. He's like, when's the Crunchwrap Supreme coming back at Taco Bell? Like, when he was on the Giants, that's all he would tweet. So he's the best. But another guy I wanted to talk about is a guy that we've been pumping the tires of like crazy, who we got to meet a couple weeks ago, take a picture on the field of him, is Yusei Kikuchi. What's that guy like? I mean, him and Vladdy's handshake's the most electric thing on the planet.
Yeah, he's awesome. Like I got the privilege to kind of like meet him when we made the All-Star team together, and like we kind of like talked a little bit then. So yeah, like we kind of hit it off then. But obviously, like with his background, I wasn't sure like how like well his English was and stuff like that. And then like you start talking to him, and his English is actually really good.
I said
So,
the exact
like,
same thing. I was shocked at it. It's like there's no way you need a translator. You're doing the fake thing, so
Yeah.
you don't have to talk to the media.
I would say that's like 60% true.
Yeah.
But I think he has a translator, honestly, just so he doesn't say anything inappropriate. I'll be honest with you. I think that's the reason. But overall, it's just he's just, again, just one of the most genuinely, like, I don't want to keep saying this because I think it's kind of just like the more times you say it, the more times it can't be true. But like, we genuinely, truly have like some of the nicest, best people I've ever played with. Like, our whole starting rotation is unbelievable. And then, like, obviously there's a lot of position players that I think are the same way. Honestly, we don't really have a bad apple on the team, but like, Kikuchi is just happy-go-lucky, but like on the mound, I just like his sneaky like flair, like when he strikes somebody out, I'm like, man, like, you got some swag, even though you don't have any at all. It's kind of funny.
The pitching ninja.
Well, speaking
videos
about
back
swag,
at
Chris, I got to talk about this with you because I came at Swanee a couple weeks ago because I don't know if Swanee talked to you about coming on the podcast and stuff like that. If he did, I'll text him to thank him. But him and I are pretty close, so I can throw some jabs at him. What's the deal here with the Mizuno cleats, boys? Like, what are we doing? Like, we can't be going Nike, Jordan. Like, we're wearing Mizuno cleats on the mound now. What's up with this?
Mizuno pays. Nike dropped me. This was me back with Oakland. Nike dropped me, so I said, "All right, deuces. I'm never going back to y'all."
Okay, maybe that's the reasoning why. I mean, I said it to Swanee, like, you tell someone to give me the bag, I'll get the bag. I mean, Nike's not giving me money, so Nike's not giving me money. But this is the last thing that I wanted to talk about because Swanee's like, you guys wouldn't stop talking about this on social media. The Nelly concert heard around the world. Why didn't you make an appearance at that? We were talking about that crew. It was Brandon Belt, Kevin Gossman, Swanee. Who else? Was it, Ave? It was
I don't
one more.
remember the fourth.
Whit Merrifield. It was just an elite group that, like I said, I was kind of pissed I didn't get invited to this. Invited to that. What's up with that? You're not a concert guy?
No, it was an open invite. Anyone could go, but I had a 2-week-old at the time, so Mama said absolutely not, and that's why I didn't go. Like, Whit don't have kids, Chappie don't have kids, Belt has older kids. Like, all the guys that went have older kids. If I told my wife, hey, I'm going to the Nelly concert with a 2-week-old at home, I wouldn't have went to the baseball field the next day. I will tell you that.
I can get behind that. Just circle Morgan Wallen. The wife will love that. Circle Morgan Wallen in September. We'll get a crew going for that. I'll finagle some people for tickets. We'll go to Morgan Wallen in September. That'll get the wife happy.
Me and Gauze already have tickets to that. We're good.
All right. So I guess that whatever. All right, maybe we'll see you there. Avery, do you have anything left for our guy here? I mean, like I said, Chris, we've been pumping your tires full, and I'll get in the mud with you. And this is one rule here: when you come on this podcast, you have to go to dinner with us at some point this year. I know you got a 2-week goal, whatever. We'll finagle around it. I'm still waiting for Jano to figure that out. And 2, we got your back for life now. Anyone comes at you on social media, I'll be keyword searching Chris Bassitt. I'll go in the mud with anyone on the planet for Chris Bassitt. They call me Mud Boy on the podcast. I'll go toe to toe with anyone for you. So those are the 2 things that come along with this podcast.
If I deserve to get ridiculed, I can get ridiculed. I can handle it. It's okay. Sometimes you need to be called some names just to like wake up a little bit. And I've been calling myself a couple names already, so we're good. Don't worry. You can talk crap to me. I'll say that.
No, I'm good. Thanks a lot for your time, Chris. Really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure, man. There you have it, folks. Our guy, the Hound on the mound. What a pleasure this was to have you on, Chris. We appreciate you coming on this, man. It means a lot.
No problem. Thank you all.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Chris Bassitt. Before we go into the second half talk and all that type of stuff, I got to talk about this with Chris, Abe. I couldn't get a read on him if he liked us.
I don't think he would do it if he didn't like us.
Okay, I know he definitely liked us. He pumped our tires, obviously. Like, before the interview, before we talked and all. Before you came on, it was just him and I think, right? Or he joined?
Yeah.
And we were talking about, like, how he found us and all that type of stuff. So he definitely likes us, but he's a very old-fashioned guy that I just couldn't get a read on if he liked us, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, if he liked the interview. I think he did. I made him laugh a pretty decent amount of times, but I can't gauge it. You know, like I can't gauge it. I don't know. Maybe you could talk me off the ledge with that, Abe.
Yeah, no, I think he seems like he came off more open than I thought he was going to, honestly. So
Yes, same.
again, so I
No,
don't
he
think
definitely. I think this is going to be the people are going to enjoy it just based on the fact that how different it was. Like a lot of the interviews he's done has been on like really more buttoned up professional podcasts, and he gave us a lot. I mean, a lot of the stories he gave us, like the Brandon Belt stuff and like the Whit Merrifield stuff and him golfing and all that type of stuff. He gave us a lot of stuff. But JR, how's it going, buddy? How was that flight back on Sunday with little to no sleep?
Oh yeah, it was terrible. I got back at I got back at 5 a.m. Eastern time. So
then had
that
to go
was
back
great.
to work the next day.
Yeah, then I had to go work the next day. No, I'm excited to hear this interview. I only heard what you guys have said, but I'm going to be listening with the fans, so I'm definitely excited. He's definitely an old soul. He's definitely an old soul.
He's a smart guy too. So like when Johnny talks about him buttoning up, it's because you can talk to him about big topics because he's like a good thinker.
Yeah. If he didn't think our stuff was semi-entertaining, he would never have taken a pod like this.
He loves it. I mean, he pretty much said like he openly said like some of the stuff that our listeners tweet at us and the stuff that we tweet goes in the Blue Jays group chat. So like he gave us a lot, Avery. Maybe I'm just I haven't done an interview with someone like a baseball player in a really long time since official and official, probably like early in the off season. So
so after it ended, we haven't done one yet where I'm like, oh fuck, like we could have done better. I was just like, I enjoyed talking to him every second.
No, I did too. I wish we had more time. I mean, he didn't give us a time limit. He probably could have talked to us for an hour. He was just on his back deck, just shooting the shit with the boys. But no, we had some good conversations even after it. Like he said,
did you guys talk about the shirt? I hope.
No. We said we're gonna send him some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, we said we're gonna get some stuff for him and put it on the field. I DM'd him what size he was, and he never hasn't answered yet or even read it.
He's a bad DM guy. We know that though.
Yeah, he's a bad DM guy. So I'm not gonna hold my breath with it, but I am excited for the people's reaction to it. Obviously, you've just listened to it. So he's a great guy, man. I mean, he's as advertised. The way he talked about Kevin Gossman, Brandon Belt is just like. It just fires me up just hearing how good
he's an easy person to root for as well. That's a common theme with guys we've gotten to talk to so far.
Yeah,
great guys,
people
you want to support, buy their jerseys, happy that they're Toronto Blue Jays.
I just like that the perception of us in the locker room and like just the way what he thinks of us is like positive fans, but negative when we have to be negative, you know? Like that's what he pretty much said. He's like, you guys are positive, you guys are like the common fan, you love the team, all that type of stuff. Obviously, people that are listening already heard that, but that was really good to have that like reiterated by a guy that actually plays on the team, you know? Like that it means we're doing something right. So I'm excited.
We're not going to get people coming on here if we shit on them all the time.
Exactly. And I think we've done a pretty good job, obviously, this year, especially just like doing it on like offense or like the bullpen or the pitching staff as a whole, not just coming at individuals, you know? So we've done but maybe Kevin Biggio a little bit, but yeah, which is warranted for Kevin Biggio and doesn't have social media, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, it was an awesome interview. Hope everyone loved it. Hope everyone listened to it and enjoyed it. And hopefully their perception of Chris Bassitt changed a little. I know no one has a negative obviously a negative perception of him, but I hope that makes them want to root for him harder and all that type of stuff. So thanks again to Chris for coming on this.
Also, and the vlog came out. We're filming this on Tuesday night. The vlog came out. Any thoughts from you? Did you watch it, Jer?
Yeah, it's awesome. You did a great job.
Well, I didn't do much. I just put the clips together. It was just filming them and finding the right stuff.
No, I thought it was great. The vlog's always the best. Like those are we're really, people get to. I wish a camera guy would definitely help, but like because it is tough in general to like be in the vlog and film. Whoa. Did you just explode your pen?
Oh my God.
It's a good thing that wasn't in your mouth, man.
Oh my God. That would have been a disaster.
That's a massacre over there on Johnny's hands. Johnny's
Okay.
doing black hands. You got to cancel him.
This
now.
is bad. Okay, I'm not going to touch anything for the rest of the pod. But yeah, no, the vlog was great, Abe. You did a great job with it. I didn't know you were
I don't want the
filming.
flowers for it. I just wanted to
I didn't
say.
know you were
You're getting the
filming.
flowers, though.
You're going to get the flowers, but I didn't know you were filming at 5 a.m. as you were walking back to your car.
You guys weren't gonna give me an outro, so
We did do an outro. We said good night, Gate 14 Nation.
I wanted to put a full bow on it.
Okay, that's fine. No, it was a funny vlog for sure. I mean, you definitely could have cut a couple of the parts where I said I'm fucking mangled.
No,
but
if I had the time and like the skills, I would have had a graphic of how many
mangled
times
counts.
Johnny said he was fucking.
Yeah.
The problem is you say it at the start of every one, so I went to cut one of them, and then the clip just like didn't flow very well.
I think, and Doc DM'd me the funniest clip from it was me saying like these beers are punching, and then I just start shadow boxing.
Yeah.
I was
no,
trying
to do my best on the camera to pretend I was the other boxer. That didn't translate well on camera.
It was funny, man. No, that was a funny. I mean, it was a good vlog. Obviously, the numbers on it aren't going to be as crazy as like the Avery versus Johnny stuff and all that type of stuff. Oh my god. But yeah, no, it was definitely good. I mean, the JR's on Tinder part of the video.
I didn't know that got filmed. Well, I thought that
What
was.
do you mean? Yeah, I was looking at
I thought that
Avery.
was just like I didn't know Eve had his phone out.
That's
at
the
that
best
situation.
thing is like just capturing the stuff that they also don't see even in the vlog is the more ridiculous shit that happens. So
Yeah.
like if
Yeah,
we had like
there's
a
some-
floating cam over everything, that would be
Uh-huh.
better instead of just the cameraman. all
There's
the time.
definitely some ridiculous shit that happened.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we obviously Judah's not of age to be able to go to the bar yet, so we can't have him just be ripping out with us. But once he does, we'll get something firing for that. Like just have a personal camera guy following around
Also,
there.
the filming I did at the roulette table, I cut out the little part. The person spinning the fucking thing was just like told me to put like was like no filming. Just kind of freaked out at me right after that.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. But no, yeah, great vlog. I mean, the no hitter.
Felix Batista's gonna lose the.
Yeah, no. The thing is it'll. I like the old fashioned like vlog. I watched the St. Louis one back, and it's just so funny. Yeah, it just I like those. I don't know if our listeners can maybe answer this in the comments or tweet at us stuff like this. I like the Scorsese-esque vlogs, obviously from Judah.
Yeah.
But at some point, it's good to go back to our roots and just do the old fashioned like iMovie edit.
Yeah.
I know you obviously aren't using that, but just like the classic edit like that, you know?
Yeah, there's no frame shifting. There's no wipes coming in and out from the clips.
For sure.
You're gonna get them all back to back to back to back, just how they were filmed. It's like it's got to be like you were there.
It's funny, man. It's funny, but before we go into the season preview and all that type of stuff, let's go into the home run derby, man. We got to discuss Vladdy put on a goddamn show. And I'll tell you what, that first round, he struggled a little bit. Like the first 5 to 10 swings, he looked like Guillermo was like, had like the, oh my God, Felix Bautista just gave up an absolute moon bomb. Yup. Anyways, but what I will
Hopefully
say,
this derails his season.
this is insane. He launched that Elias Diaz or whatever the fuck his name is. But yeah, no, Vladdy put on an absolute show, especially doing it against Julio Rodriguez, who had the entire stadium. Look at my hands. The entire stadium rooting for him.
Put
And
them in
Vladdy
in front of your face, Johnny, so people on YouTube can see. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just having the entire stadium rooting for him, going up against that, and Julio Rodriguez hit 41 in the first round. Like and Vladdy, dude, I don't know if you saw this. The live odds on Julio for the second round was minus 400. Did you see that? So, like, I was watching on stream. Obviously, everyone on the stream was like minus 400. We're all saying this on the stream, and Julio Rodriguez just shot the bet. I mean, that was a disaster class second round. Like, talk about, and everyone makes a joke, he wasted all of his home runs in the first round, all that type of stuff. He actually did.
Well,
like,
so the two people who have the most home runs in a round lost the home run derby, right?
Is that a strategy for next year when you're betting on it?
Yeah, don't hit that many home runs. Just do enough.
Just enough
Yeah,
to get
that
you
is
there.
true.
It's kind of like my school career, like through high school. Like, just do enough to get by.
Yeah,
Then
exactly.
After that, you're good. But no, that was awesome to see him win again. John Schneider, masterclass. He's got. It'll be nice
I think
to see him
that
win
the
a World
guy
Series.
throwing to Julio was just he was
painting.
the
He was
first
painting.
round. Holy, he had like a certain the way he was standing was in a power stance, and he was just just perfect pitches.
Well, another thing
was
about this
so
home run
close,
derby
too.
is another thing
Yeah,
about this
he was
home run
close.
derby is they just don't follow the rules. Like the
Oh,
rule
yeah.
book says you're supposed to go once the ball lands. Like
Mhm.
that's when you throw the next pitch. This motherfucker, Adley, Randy Arozarena's guy, Seattle's guy, John Schneider, maybe all of them were just
sure.
like like from the movie The Elf, when he just racks up all the snowballs and he's just letting the snowballs sing.
That's
what
a
they're
good
doing. Like
one.
Randy Arozarena was doing that swing you do as a joke just to get through batting practice, where you just swing back, no lower body. That's
That
what
would
they
have
were
went
doing.
viral, Johnny. If you tweeted that clip and just said like
Maybe I'll do it tomorrow.
The Mariners.
It doesn't hit the same.
I well, no,
No,
that's
it would've
the
been-
joke part of it, because everyone's gonna listen to the podcast and they'll be like, oh yeah, it's a good meme.
The live
we'll
view,
do it like 3 days
live
after.
view of the Mariners BP pitcher. Oh god, that'd be awesome. What do you guys think of the kids out there? Like
that's crazy. This is my thing,
those
JR.
are-
It's like why like these
you could
are
put us out there, we might not catch them all.
these are
Yeah,
clearly
yeah.
the best, not the best hitters, but like the best power hitters on the planet. And you are putting 13-year-old fucking Timmy in the outfield against a Vladdy line out. And these kids have like insane egos where they get in front of every fucking ball. Like having a child out there is absurd. It's just that it's like, it would be like, how do I compare this? Trying to think, like, okay,
It'd be like
putting
having
kids behind the net in the slap shot competition. in the
You know, it's like putting a
NHL.
minor Adam
Yeah.
goalie in the net for a slap shot competition.
It's like putting the like the shit kid. Like it's like throwing a ball to someone who can't catch and just whipping at him and then just hoping and praying he could catch the ball.
Yeah.
Or it's just gonna hit him in the head or hit him in the freaking chest. Like that liner was hit so hard and off his head. Like how is he dead? Like,
I
do we
don't know,
if
but
he's
I'll tell you
alive?
what. The shitty thing is like
They won't show it. The MLB is what? Do they have to sign NDAs before getting on that field?
the worst. They
NDAs.
definitely what they do is their
How would they
parents
sign
have to.
NDAs? They're on
Their
TV.
legal guardians have to sign off on that. So their parents are pretty much selling their soul. Like they know their kids are going to go out there. Great experience, albeit I wouldn't be anywhere near that outfield wall. Okay. I would just be fielding ground balls at third on these little weak hit rollovers these guys are doing. You wouldn't catch me anywhere near the outfield wall where it's like, this could be a screamer that could murder me and make me dumber than I already am. It's crazy that that's an actual thing. I can't believe it. It's the dumbest thing MLB baseball does. And there's a lot of dumb shit they do. Having I know Big Cat said this, like just drunk college students out there, like like Twitter trolls out there. Like just get all the Twitter trolls that come at MLB players, like burner accounts, invite them out there, have them out there fielding it. So you just have unlimited ammo on these losers. That's what you do. Get fucking Dr. Ned out there for Christ's sakes. He would fucking battle. Get YJ's out there.
I think like you could, if the MLB was smart, they would almost try and gamify that side of things, of like which outfielder could get the catch the most live balls.
Then you just start just World War III out there of kids just beating the brakes off each other for balls, or college kids. I know, I agree with that. I mean,
there's something there because it's, and right now it's just like kids running around, freaking. It's just crazy. Like it's like shooting slap shots.
Do you think we're gonna look back at it?
Kids that can't skate. You know?
Do you think we're gonna look back at this in 10 years, like when we're doing this show, and just be like, do you guys remember when they had children in the home run derby in the outfield? Like the Pete Alonso one last year or a couple years ago was insane. Like that kid is like, I think he's dead now. I don't know. I hope he's not, but it's wild that that's like an actual thing. But that home run derby rule, though, I know Avery had to do his little beer league hockey. I was putting on a show on the stream because old takes exposed Julio Rodriguez. We're gonna talk about that.
So funny, man, that after you clearly were wrong, still awesome. Like, did you just forget about last year?
Well, I didn't even know he was in the home run derby last year. I said on stream this was his first year. So for the listeners that don't know, that aren't on Twitter, which this tweet has like 80,000 views right now or whatever it is, but I tweeted that clown meme with the army soldiers, Julio Rodriguez in the home run derby, and just not even 10 minutes after, he hits 41 in the first round. And my entire Twitter mentions are just at unfortunate MLB. Look at this fucking idiot. Not too late to delete this. Yada, yada, yada. And I was on stream like, I'm not deleting this. Like, I'm not a delete guy. I'm not deleting this. I'm staying true to this, and I'm going to keep this up here. And on stream, I was like, please, God, Vlad, just beat Julio so I could just dunk on people. Which, in retrospect, in reality, I can't dunk on people for that tweet because he hit 41 in the first round. So he wasn't a clown.
He set the literal record for home runs.
So I start tweeting at people. Like, obviously, I had like 40 mentions. Like, it was wild. I just started quote tweeting everyone that was trying to ultra expose me. Like, what about now? What about now? What about now, Burner Boy? What about now, IBL Hero? What about now, Blue Checkmark Idiot? And all these guys had no answer for it. They just had to tip their cap. They knew that Daddy's home, and he was body bagging them on Twitter. But it was a great moment. Vladdy really put on for me there, because if you'd have lost, I don't know what I would have done. That would have been catastrophic for me. But it's good to see Vladdy, and I'm going to try to stay as sane as possible here in saying this, but he's going to just go off second half, right? He's going to eat.
You'd have to desperately think that's going to happen. Yeah, just if he finds a way to hit home runs often, this team is going to be an absolute problem.
It just, I'll tell you what, man. Seeing him pull balls gives me so much chills. Like, just long, like these balls he was hitting, like 474, 457, 430. Like, when he gets a ball, he launches a baseball. It's so fun to watch, and I just want Guillermo locked in a room when Vladdy's hitting, and just go back to the old you, King. Do what you got to do, King. I hope he just puts up a 150, 160 Fangraphs WAR, whatever the fuck it is, F WAR, and just goes out.
Did you just say 160 Fangraphs WAR?
Oh, started way to runs creative plus. Oh my god, man. Okay, way to run creative. Way to run. That's gonna get clipped at some point. You hate to see that.
I'm like tweeting that as we go.
Yeah, but seeing Vladdy, man, and obviously going up against the Rosarina in the finals, a guy that just is a freak of nature. I thought he was dead. I'll be honest with you, because Vladdy was up 4 with the 32nd round for a Rosarina, and a Rosarina just started doing that Buddy the Elf bullshit when he was just, his BP guy was just throwing it right after the swing, like just leading him like he's an NFL quarterback. But credit to our guy, man. Vladdy wins the home run derby, the second Canadian ever. ESPN will tell you he was the second Cuban ever to win the home run derby. So credit to ESPN.
Rat shit organization.
Yeah, they don't get it ever. They will never get it. They'll never understand it. They're just dumber than a box of fucking rocks. That organization. They really are. Saying he's a second, because they were expecting Randy to do it. Whatever. But yeah, it was a great night content wise, man. We were just buzzing on the socials that night. It was electric. And
Buffalo Bisons followed us.
Buffalo Bisons followed us. And listen, our listeners, you guys have managed to do crazy shit for us. Your guys' tweets to us get put in Blue Jays group chats. We need a gate 14 first pitch at a Buffalo Bisons game. I need this more than I need air to breathe. I will do whatever it takes for this to happen. I already texted Luplo about it. I said, if this happens, you're catching the first pitch from me. I don't know who's catching Avery's. Maybe Ernie Clement or some shit like that will catch Avery's. But I need this to happen. So, like, someone just continue to just tweet at them, get in their ears. We need this to happen more than I need fucking vision. I couldn't believe the follow. I thought it was one of the troll accounts, something like that, because someone did do that to us a couple weeks ago. But shout out Buffalo Bisons, gate 14 riders now. You love to see it. So hopefully that happens, and the scenes for that, Avery, would just be unbelievable, right? Come on.
It could be a great day.
I told Luplo I'm throwing him a cutter. Like, I'm going full speed, like in and out style, and throwing him a cutter.
Go straight from the mound?
Yeah, I would. I'm not going 40 feet. Get me 60. I actually might go to second. That would do numbies.
The old Kevin Gosman pull down.
Yeah, that's what I would be doing. I hope it happens, but that would just be like a real "Where were you, Gate 14" moment. I'd be wearing the Luplo jersey, or I'd get them to customize a Luplo jersey for me, because I think they give you one when you do a first pitch. So, yeah, Buffalo Bison, sup? Date and time, we'll be there whenever, wherever, don't care. But yeah, Another thing, me and Avery will be going to Cincinnati. I think that's pretty clear. I'll drive, obviously. And by the way, you saying in the vlog that I didn't offer to drive. You were the one that had to coach at 5. You think I'm going to wake up?
I took that part out for the real
No,
one.
you didn't.
Yeah, it's not in there.
Oh, I didn't watch it then. Okay,
Never
mind.
I sent you the
uncut one, uncut gems. But yeah, okay, that makes sense then. Okay, I'll drive to Cincy though, and I'll say this: that's gonna. I love Cincinnati.
Tin
So
Roof Cincinnati,
it's gonna rule.
I hope you find love there, Johnny, because I want to be buried at that place already.
I will find love there. I'm not worried about that. I've just been on a heater lately. If you know, you know. Yeah. No, I need to find love in Cincinnati. Well, that'll definitely happen at some point. But yeah, let's go into the second half talk, boys. I mean, not much talk about. Congratulations to Vladdy, obviously. Very nerve-wracking home run derby, but that's the most Toronto Blue Jays thing of all time. Never easy.
And Jordan Romano hurt.
Jordan Romano hurt.
Back tightness.
I'm not going to go Frank the Tank. It's back tightness. Like, whatever. Luckily, this bullpen has enough good depth where like a Nate Pearson could slide in there. Or like a Swanee can slide in there or whatever. Even Tim Meza, I guess. I don't know if he throws the stuff.
If Eric Swanson not Eric Swanson, if Nate Pearson gets to 10 saves, I'll be insufferable. You'll
be able to just you'll be able to dunk on me and JR for the rest of the time if that happens.
And Keegan.
Yeah, because Keegan laughed you to the like all the way to the finish line with that. He was just body bag. I mean, he was like
10th of the way there.
Yeah, he's 1/10 of the way there. Let's go into the second half preview, boys. All right. Avery's gonna take the host reins for this. He has the list ready, and I'll have him answer first. Whit Merrifield single, yes, sir. My all-star.
So I kind of did this similar layout to last year, I believe. I didn't go back and watch last year's episode, but I think this is very similar to what we did. Added a couple more here as well. Took some from listener questions that I asked in the Discord as well. So I'm gonna go our thoughts. Final record for the team, standings finish, playoff finish if you have them in the playoffs, hot take for the team, a trade deadline ad for the team, an underrated player in the second half, the best player of the second half, and the most disappointing player of the second half. So we'll start with the record. What record do the Toronto Blue Jays finish with?
So the Toronto Blue Jays have 70 games left. Okay.
71, I think.
No, it's 70.
Well, they're 50 and 41.
Okay, 71. Okay. 45 and 36. Nope, that's 81.
Go final record, Johnny. Try and do that math easier. It's nice to see you didn't prepare. Fucking
no, okay, sorry. I did prepare that. I just wanted to do the record off. I wanted to kind of impress people with me with my math. So I say they finish at 93 wins, okay? I say they finish at 93 wins. They get 42 more wins out of the 71 games they have left. That is, by the way, that is very attainable. Very attainable. 42 more wins out of 71 games. That is attainable. All right. Yep. I'm not going to call me. You can't call me crazy for that bullshit. 42 wins and 29 or never mind. Just shut the fuck up, Johnny. Just 42 wins. They're going to get to 93.
So they're 93 and 69 at the end of the year.
93 and 69. Yes, that's where they're going to be at.
Jeremy.
I like that range. I don't know if they can go on. I would go more. I think they just crack. I think they hit 90.
Okay.
I think they hit
90 and 72.
Yeah. Okay.
And I have Whit Merrifield just got doubled off.
Yeah, that was bad.
92 and 70 is what I ended up on.
Okay.
Where does that put the Toronto Blue Jays in the playoff mix, Johnny?
I hate to say this. Second wild card. My worst nightmare. That's my worst nightmare. And I will say, because then they have to play at either Yankee Stadium, or sorry, not Yankee Stadium, Camden Yards, which is a field of just nightmare for the Toronto Blue Jays. I don't know what it is. I feel like they're always cat shit there. But yeah, I'm going to say that. I'm going to say they finish second wild card, have to play at Camden Yards, and then go, if they win that series, go to Tropicana. Some may say I'm a glass half empty guy with that, That's where they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. They're going to do some little random ass comeback win at the end of the year when you don't want them to do it. And they're going to finish in the second wild card. That's what's going to happen.
Jarrett,
I like third wild card.
I also had third wild card.
Mhm.
Have we started the tank discussion for that?
I think 92.
I think it's like
I think
it's
92
literally
wins gets you second wild card actually, but
yeah.
I might go closer to 90.
Yeah, if I have 90, then I essentially pretty much have to say, in a sense, third wild card. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of where we want to be.
I want to be there so bad. Because then
So-
if they face Cleveland, we could just do a Cleveland roadie 7 hours or
Wow.
whatever it is. And that's going to be a guaranteed trip. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to that. But it sucks to say that, but yeah, I think we're all on different pages, which is good. So you love to see that.
What happens in the playoffs? We all have the Jays making the playoffs.
JR, you lead this off here. Let's hear where JR's at.
I think we win the wild card series this year. Well, I still think we could win a best out of 5. I think we can win a best out of 5, but I think we lose a best out of 7 series.
So you have them going to the championship series.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to be more realistic. I have them losing in game 5 in the American League Division Series.
And I have them losing in the division series. Don't know a game. I hope it's not 5. That would be fucking heartbreaking.
But it would be cool to make it there, though.
Yeah.
The game 5. I mean, there's nothing like it.
The
The
5-game series is, I know a lot of people hate on it, but I personally fucking love it.
It's so
It's
like just the stakes are
it's
so
just
much higher.
Every
Yeah.
game is just like,
Yep.
yeah, I just love it.
The stakes are so much higher, JR. You're right, man. You're hitting the nail on the head, brother. I'm right with you there. I really am.
You're a hot take for the second half of the season.
Wow.
I'll go first to let you know where I'm at.
Okay.
I did this with a certain other right-handed pitcher last year,
Yes, you did. Yeah.
and it was wrong. It was really wrong. But Alek Manoah has under a 3.75 ERA in the second half of the season.
Mhm.
Is that hot enough? I feel like 3.5 has to be hot. 3.75 is not hot for a second Cy Young guy.
He's not a second Cy Young guy.
Last year.
He pitched in the lowest level of professional baseball this year. Let's
Okay.
not forget that.
Maybe we'll have the listeners decide if that's a hot enough take. That's
maybe
fine.
It's not, maybe that's lukewarm take then.
Okay. If you want to go crazy with hot takes, I got one for you. I'm drinking the Vladdy Kool-Aid more than anything on the planet.
Mhm.
He hits 20 plus home runs in the second half.
Oh, that would be fucking awesome.
Now that is a hot take because this motherfucker's at 13, I think, in the first half. So Vladdy 20 home runs second half. Because I mean, people are quick to forget this, Avery. He hit like 4 home runs in a 10-game stretch, like to end that little stretch they had there. So it's not the craziest take, I guess, technically, but he could definitely do it. If anyone could do it, it's Vladdy on this team, probably, right? So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
I'll go. Varsho isn't in the starting lineup. Come playoff
That's, I
time.
mean, yeah, he's leading the league in defensive runs saved in the outfield.
Yeah, that's crazy, Jerry. But I love it. It is a hot take. 'cause
Okay, that's a hot
it's kinda
take.
I just think
stupid.
like if he gets, I don't think at some point, I think a deadline out of a bat. I think it's it's not our fucking defense issue is we can't fucking hit.
But the
and we're
defense
not,
isn't
like-
the issue because he's there.
No, but yes, agree. But there's gotta be, we're never gonna win if we can't hit.
Agreed.
And he's supposed to be a 3 hit.
But there has been teams and former Jays teams that have been very successful with a very good defensive outfielder at the bottom of the lineup that doesn't hit. Like Kevin Pillar,
well, technically Kevin Kiermaier is that.
but it's a hard. I mean, whatever.
I think the issue is, well, one, Kirk, our DH can't fucking hit, which is an issue.
Yeah, you can't.
And can't run.
Yeah.
So that's also an issue. I think though, like, I think John Snyder needs to put some pressure on Varsho. That's kind of my heart. my hot take.
just start playing the hard to get game. I love that game. Women know that. I love that game. What what's the next one, Avery? Trade
3.5
deadline?
ERA for Alek Manoah.
3.5?
Under 3.5.
There we go. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Vladdy 20 home runs is insane. And I'm going to need our listeners to lock this in. And I need the entire comment section with Vladdy Nuke, just at Johnny Junta, at Gate 14 on the Blue Jays site.
He hit 13 or whatever he's at right now in 91 games. He has 71 to hit 20.
What?
So that is a hot take. So good.
Okay, yeah, that's
you.
That's a very hot take.
Yeah,
that's okay. Wow. All right, I didn't even think about that.
He can do it though. He can
do it. We believe in you, Vlad, just like Victor says. With Manoah.
I can't believe that was actually him in that clip.
What's the next one?
A trade deadline ad for the Toronto Blue Jays. Someone you will see, you think you can see on the team. I have two. I'll start it off if you guys don't have any.
Yeah, you started. I got one, but yeah, you can go.
You might have this one. David Bednar and Jeimer Candelario are two trade deadline.
David Bednar's not happening. There's no chance with that one. But Candelario is a very intriguing one. A guy that I really want, and I know his trade value is probably insanely high because he has a pretty decent amount of years of control left, is Lane Thomas.
Bring him home.
Bring him home. Drafted here. I would love if Lane Thomas on the Toronto Blue Jays. That would just, let's just trust yourself in the room. That would fucking rule. He rakes left-handed pitchers and a lot of control left. So the Jays would have to give up a pretty decent prospect, I'm assuming, for that. But fuck it. Who cares? Do the right thing. Bring him home. What about you, JR?
Yeah, I was looking at who's available. It's pretty much just pitching.
Yeah.
Definitely could see a bullpen piece. I guess there was discussion about Stroman.
Say Marcus Stroman is going to be a Blue Jay.
I hate him, bro.
Marcus Stroman's going to be a Blue Jay.
I hate him so much.
Imagine how fucking hype Marcus Stroman would be.
But then that'd be like 7 starting pitchers this team has.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Marcus Stroman is a Blue Jay. Love that, Jared. All right. The Toronto Blue Jay, underrated, going to be great in the second half. Who is it?
I'll go first on this one. I'm going to stick with it. I think Trevor Richards. I think the Silver Fox, man. I mean, that and what the Silver Fox has been able to do with his pitch arsenal is so sustainable. It's unhit. Like, they know what's coming. That's the craziest thing. Everyone knows a changeup is coming. They just can't fucking hit it. And he's been such a massive part of this bullpen. He's been able to do spot starts, long relief, high leverage. Is it even crazy that I don't think it's categorized anymore as underrated player? I mean, his ERA is almost 2, like 2.9, right? So
no,
should I switch it up?
He's not a mainstream player on the team, I think.
Okay, so I'm gonna stick with Trevor Richards. I mean, that guy, what he's been able to do right now for this team is just absolutely absurd.
All right, I'll go another bullpen beast. Jimmy Garcia.
I fucking knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that.
Jimmy Heaters comes back in the second post. Sorry, it's not the second half. It's the post All-Star break. Whatever. I always get that wrong. Jimmy Garcia comes back and fucking carves.
I mean, he looked insane against the Tigers on Sunday. That's a good pick, Abe. That's a really good pick. I was actually thinking that too, but I was just, I don't know.
You knew I was gonna say it.
I wanted to show some respect to Trevor Richards. So I feel like we bashed him a pretty bad amount last year. So you got to keep on pumping his tires.
Oh yeah, he's been good.
JR, what about you?
Most underrated. I like Danny. I like Danny as a guy that I think is going to I memes will probably kill me, but I just think if Kirk goes the way he goes, it's gonna be Danny's. He's gonna just take control of it. And I mean, just seeing some of the clutch hits, I mean, he's got fucking power. You know, I just think he's the guy. I think he can be relied upon. I trust Danny over Kirk right now. I mean, Kirk running a K percentage that's top 3% in the league when you're a singles hitter isn't great. So So I like Danny as like kind of my like underrated, under the radar guy.
But here's something for you though. Do you know Kirk leads the league in DRS for catchers?
I hate when like we compare catchers to catchers because half the catchers in this fucking league suck.
Yeah, that's like Austin Nola and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like we have a guy. Like I just think like we have guys like off the bench.
Jerry,
like
you're
why don't we
reading
just
top
try them?
3 K percentage the wrong way.
So he strikes out the
Other
least
way.
amount.
Other way. No, so it's okay. That's my bad. That's my bad. K percentage is good.
But
Yeah, but
everything else is bad.
yeah.
But everything
I
else
get
is
what you're saying though. He doesn't, like we talked about his last podcast. He doesn't barrel stuff up anymore, like he
Yeah,
used to. He's
yeah.
missing a lot of
His
pitches.
yes.
Yeah,
His
it's a good
barrel
point.
percentage. So then he's getting into more double plays, which Abe could probably find a stat on that. That might not even be true too.
Yeah. So Avery, what's the next one?
The best player for the Toronto Blue Jays post All-Star break.
I've kind of cornered myself in here saying Vladdy's gonna hit 20 home runs. Fuck it though. I'm not gonna say Vladdy. Kevin Gossman. I think he continues to do this. Potentially ends himself finishes top Cy Young voting at the end of the year. This guy is just, I think if you listen to the Chris Bassitt interview, what did Chris Bassitt say? He's a completely normal guy off the field, but then when he steps on the mound, he's just he fucking hates you. He's just a bulldog. So that fired me up. I'll say that, Avery. When he said that, I was like, whoa. I was like, fucking whoa. We got this guy for 2 more years. So I'm gonna say Kevin Gossman's the best player on this team, second half of the season. A guy that just every single 5th day he goes out there and just does what he does. 7 innings, 13 punchies, 10 punchies, 11. Just what he's been doing. Just exactly what he has been doing. I'm gonna say he continues this, and he's the best player on this team second half.
I'm gonna take Vladdy then. Linsanity run. This team, how this team scores runs post All-Star break relies upon Vladdy. Like we won't have these feeble games anymore if Vladdy's doing what he did 2020.
Yep. What about you, JR?
I know he's been struggling a little bit lately, but like I like Bo as like Bo Timber.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Do you
I
remember
we
that?
need
Bo Timber
those
was
runs.
the greatest goddamn month ever. He hit like 430 in an entire month. It was just, I remember
He
that
goes
was
on
when
these spurts.
that was when we
like-
did the Labor Day, like the beach golf invitational turn, and he just like would go 4 for 4 every
Mhm.
game, like a doubleheader. He went like got like 7 hits or something like that. Remember that, Avery? He's fucked. He's insane.
It's funny you say. It's his worst month this year. He hit 278.
And that's his worst month.
Yeah,
That's just ridiculous.
by like 20%, 20 points.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
That's a good pick, JR.
Yeah, no, I think like he didn't hit great in the Detroit series, but when he's hot, he gets blazing.
That's a great
So I
pick.
like
That's
Bo.
a great pick. He's a second half player too, which you just know he's going to turn this the fuck on. So it's a great pick, JR.
Finally, I hate to do this one. A disappointing player. I'll go first. I'll take this one. I think Matt Chapman kind of disappoints in the second half again. Where I'm at is we won't see start of the season Chappie again, and he plays himself out of some of the money that he already has.
Yeah.
Glove is still there. Great player. Just to think, might be my.
This is my thing though, Avery, is like with chopsticks, right? I mean, especially with this team, how many good defensive players can you just throw in the bottom of the order at the end of the day? Like you got Kiermaier, Varsho, Kirk, Chapman. Like these are guys that are just really good defensively that just can't hit right now. Like it's a massive black hole. So Chapman's a guy where you're gonna like need. And honestly, last year he had a really good second half. JR said he'd get to 30 bombs, I think, or 20 something bombs, and he did. So I want to disagree with that pick. The pick that I'm going to say second half is a guy that's going to, I don't want to say disappoint. I don't want to say be bad, but definitely disappoint. I think it's just going to continue to be Dalton Varsho, man. I mean, just the way like his at bats are like for right now are very unserious. He can't like the playbook is out on him. You throw him a fastball in on his hands on the block, and it's done. There's just or elevated fastball he pops up to the infield. Until he figures that out, until he goes on a crazy run for over 2 weeks, then I'll say, all right, this guy's good at hitting again, or this guy's a guy you can just put in the lineup every single day. But I just think he's just one in his own head with this, and two, a guy that just hasn't been able to show for longer than a week or 2 weeks that he's a really good hitter, right? So I don't know. I'm going to say he just continues to disappoint.
That's good. Yeah, you're right. Like, it's actually brutal when you look at it. I mean, Biggio's coming off the bench and he's hitting like he's hitting like 210, isn't he?
No, he's
Biggio?
hitting like 197 now.
Like, you can't find one motherfucker that can hit 240 in the league. Like, it's
no,
crazy.
there's going to be a bench bout like a Whit Merrifield type that the Jays get this off. Let's be clear here at the deadline.
Yeah.
There's going to be a Whit Merrifield type of guy.
Most disappointing in the second half. I would say most disappointing in the first half would be Jimmy Garcia.
Yeah.
You know, like I really expected a lot from him this year.
My most disappointing in the first half was Anthony Bass.
Oh shit, that's actually completely forgot about him. That's actually a great one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons. Most disappointing in the second half, I'm going to go with George Springer. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on him built up from all these guys who are defensive studs that can't hit a beach ball. And George Springer's going to have a lot of pressure on him, and it's going to be, can he, rise up to the test, or is he going to fucking not have a great second half? It pains me to say it, but I think George Springer might get a lot of press if he might start pressing and swinging out of his shoes if things aren't going his way early in the second half.
For sure. That's not a bad one. I love George. I know he's just a gamer.
George will be all right.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right too. He's just a gamer. All right. That's
the disappointing thing is just a thought. I don't want bad things for these.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a prediction. Obviously, I don't want to whatever get old takes exposed. I mean, we definitely.
I hope.
I'm fine with getting old takes exposed. I'm fine with Dalton Varsho just hitting like fucking 400 in the second half. Whatever.
I'm happy to see April Chappie back. Trust me.
Yeah, for sure.
I want more than that.
This is something I got to talk about, and that's it for the season preview, second half. All right. So this is just off topic. So Johnny Phone Lines has been working the phone lines here, and I got in contact with the brewery right across from the Rogers Center. What's that called, JR?
Real Sports?
No,
Steam Whistle. Okay, so I've talked about doing an event with them. Okay, but I need my math guys here with me. Okay, so
are we your math guys?
Yes, so we could do an event there. It's nothing up front. Okay, it's nothing up front, but our party, like the event, has to spend at least $8,000 on alcohol.
That's. I mean, we could find a bar that has a smaller tab than that.
That's not even crazy though. Like
8,000.
If we have 150 people, that's $56 a person.
We'll have people spending $0 in there.
I think they're trying to fuck us. Like 8,000 seems like aggressive. Usually it's like 2,000 to 3,000. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, we have to start working the phone lines because I keep getting DMs. When's Gate 14 bar night? Yada yada yada. Fucking whatever. We need to get this going for August. That's what we need to do. We need this for August. We keep pushing it back. August is the best month to do it.
Now, did you ask to rent out the entire place?
No, this is completely different. This is completely different. If we rented out the entire place, it'd be way more expensive, where we'd have to pay servers, security, do a tip thing where we have to tip them, obviously. I calculated $56 a person for if we get 150 people there, which is going to be easy. I'll probably do 200 by myself. So
you could pre-sell tickets. We could pre-sell tickets so we know where we land.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like
I just think
why the fuck would we sell tickets?
And the way that I planned it is what do you mean? Why would we sell tickets? It's a Gate 14 event. I don't want random motherfuckers in there causing a ruckus. So we're definitely be selling tickets. But what I was saying is, JR, is
then why is $8,000 a problem if you sell tickets to the event?
I understand that, Avery. Listen. In my mind, the game plan I had was to do it after a Jays game. So book it from 10 to 2 or 10 to 11 or whatever, or 10 to 12, and just do it after Jays game so that our listeners can just funnel into there after the Jays game on a Friday or Saturday night. Would that not be the most electric thing ever?
That would be. I think there's like, yeah, that's one of the ways to do it, or just have a watch party, one or the other.
Watch party's lame though, man. I want to get after it with our listeners, like fucking have music.
But you
blasting.
just get after it after the game as well.
But then we'd be renting the bar for like 6 hours.
I mean, we'd hit the tab mark though, right?
Yeah, it's a good point.
I think both options are good. Like, I don't think
we need to get this figured out because August is coming up close, and I want to do it in August. Like I want to get that going. We need a Gate 14 event. We haven't done it before. We do these little meet and greets outside of Gate 14. I want an event with all of our people just getting after it, having a good time with everyone. And the people need it because we're the Common Man's podcast. So I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to get my math guys vibes right on that and see where you guys were at with it. But that's where I'm at with it. Anyways, I'm pumped for this weekend though, man. I love the Diamondbacks, Avery. Like Jock Night Friday, Doc, YJs, me, you, Spencer will be there. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be just a fucking movie, as the kids say. Doc said it's gonna be scenes and a movie. But yeah, no, I'm pumped for that. And who's the guy you're besides Corbin Carroll? Who's the guy you're the most excited to see on the Diamondbacks? You know, Friday we're gonna get Zach Gallen versus Gossman, right? You know that's what we're gonna. Yeah.
Okay. That'll fucking rock. There's like 2 players that I like on the Diamondbacks a lot who kind of fucking suck, and it's Pavin Smith and Jake McCarthy. I don't know why I like both of them, but
Jake McCarthy.
Yeah, those are 2 players I'm kind of excited to see.
Jake McCarthy's a crazy one, but I respect that. He's decent too, I think. Yeah, but
I mean, obviously,
By the way, full discretion, I do not know if it's Zach. I do not know if it's Zach Allen versus Kevin Gossman. I just assume that they're just going to roll with the opening day guys, go on game 1 on Friday. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I could be wrong. But where are we at with the series? Obviously, I don't have probable pictures for the people because it's Tuesday night, so I don't know where we're at with this. But I'm going to say Jays take 2 or 3, man. The Diamondbacks are cooling down, Ave. Like, they got worked by the Mets. Absolutely worked. Like, lost every game by double digits almost. So I'm going to say Jays take 2 or 3. I'm pumped to see this Diamondbacks team, man. They're just they're fun, and especially having Lourdes back, all that type of stuff. So I'm going to say Jays take 2 or 3. That's where I'm at, because you know you're going to get top dogs. Chris Bassitt's definitely pitching, obviously. So is Barrios. So is Gossman, because he took this week off. So I think you're going to get Gossman. You're going to get Bassitt, Barrios. So Gossman, Bassitt, Barrios, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's my prediction for the probable pitchers. So I'm saying Jays take 2 or 3. Just work these motherfuckers. What about you, JR?
I like 2 out of 3. I think it's like we talked about. It's definitely be an exciting series. D-backs in Toronto doesn't happen often. So definitely excited for it. And then the Padres come, so that's cool too.
Yeah.
Johnny, are you going to the Padres too?
Yeah. I have to get Musgrove's new phone number, but I will be going to that series. Yeah. I was thinking about this. So, Avery, maybe we can get your analysis on this. Never mind. I was going to say do you work on Wednesdays, Avery? Like, do you coach Wednesday nights?
Yeah.
You do? Fuck. I was going to say, because I want to do Kikuchi Corner on Wednesday night, because that's when he's going to be pitching.
It's my last. Baseball's over next weekend, though.
Okay. All right. Because we need to do a Kikuchi Corner. That's what the people need. So we'll orchestrate that. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this next podcast.
Is Pavin Smith in the minors right now?
No. I thought that other guy that played for Team Mexico in World Baseball Classic is.
All right. Well,
Alec Thomas.
Yeah, we won't be seeing Pavin Smith, maybe. But that's
okay.
Fine. Ketel Marte. I'm excited to see.
Ketel Marte. I'm excited to see that. Yeah, he's really good too. So yeah, I want to say, listen. Another thing, just not having baseball for the next 3 nights, it really makes you appreciate having baseball on. I'll say this, although it's miserable watching the Toronto Blue Jays offense play, now I know not to take it for granted. This is like a real cleanse reality check for me. Like, all right, lock it in, Johnny. All right, lock it the fuck in. So yeah, enjoy this week with no baseball, obviously tomorrow and Wednesday, Thursday, but Friday, we're all the way back, folks. We'll be pumping out content for you guys as always. Thank you guys so much for the support, everyone that watched the videos and listened to the Bassitt episode and everything like that. We really do appreciate you guys, and keep running up the numbers for those Gate 14 boys, man. We're gonna keep grinding for you guys. Gate 14 forever. Love you guys, and let's have ourselves a summer weekend in July.